on the podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. It's Grant's Rants Small Talk.
Let the ranting continue. We're here to discuss season 2, episode 2. There's a Jill in the air. And I'm back with my co-host for this venture, Alli Cohen.
Hello. There is a Jill in the air. I'm feeling it.
Yes. Let's talk about that entrance in a few moments because I know that we're going to have a lot to say. Let's talk really briefly at the top of this episode. We pick up with the fight between Brandi and Taylor. Vicki actually is the one that is going back and forth at this moment with Brandi. And, you know, it just shows the editing. The end of the episode made it look like it was you going up the roller coaster to a big argument. And then we start off and it's just like, all right, they get up from dinner. They kind of like brush off their shoulders and move on.
And Brandi, once again, this is before 10 p.m. needs to be sent to bed.
Way too much. Like, I mean, I always say this. How do you not know after college your limits with alcohol? How do you not know?
If I'm being honest, I've hit beyond my limits after college, and I'm in my 30s, and it happens once in a while. But I'm also not on reality television, so I can do that once in a while and feel not ashamed of myself.
Well, you're a private citizen, yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, these are like public figures, just like again, Dorinda like blackout half the time, like not really, but you know, she might as well be. And this is like, yeah, this is what they're known for. They're known for being drunks. But there's Nutcracker music comes in just as Brandi's leaving. I was ready for the music to come in for her to fall, but there was no like fall. I don't know what.
They needed a helper though.
Yeah. And Phaedra's very, very entertained by this. Vicki tells Phaedra that she believes Brandi is disgusting. So the judgments are it's night one. We can't even say like she's a mess. She's right to disgusting.
And Phaedra's response is that Vicki should date a preacher. And she said something along the lines of be a good citizen. Again, another Phaedra one-liner that I was Phaedra. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you for coming back.
Yes. We need her on this show.
Absolutely.
It's such like levity. You know what I mean? So smart.
Yep.
Phaedra likes Brandi and she feels that Brandi is misunderstood and, you know, they get in bed together and, you know, I'm glad that someone is there for Brandi because we did see in Beverly Hills Housewives how nobody was really. I mean, nobody ever like came to her except Lisa when it was to her to exploit Brandi and manipulate her.
Right. And that doesn't feel good. I don't like seeing anyone left out. No, I don't. Even if they're saying something horrible, it makes me feel sad.
I will just add, I am thrilled. I said it in the last episode that we don't have to watch Kyle go on vacation, but I know this is the Ex-Wives Club. Thank you for not casting Lisa Vanderpump on this.
Oh, please. That would have been, I don't know.
I don't need it. I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see her with Brandi ever again. I know, is that crazy to say? Because I know it would probably be intense, but I don't need that in my life. It's so toxic.
Way too toxic, and I'm just so glad we don't need it. To me, I can't even look at Vanderpump Rules. It's just, to me, Lisa Vanderpump is so 2011, 2010, like not into it. I think the show came on then, right? Yeah, it did. Anyway, drunk Dorinda arrives at the party. The slurring is happening at this point. Vicki says she's so happy she had COVID. Quote, the best thing ever.
Yeah, I did hear that.
I can't defend that.
No.
So many people died. We all know how awful COVID was. Everyone on the planet lived through it or didn't. And it's not something that is the best thing ever.
No. And Dorinda, in her drunken state, was right. She said, be intelligent enough to separate science from politics. And did she make a good point with her screaming? No. She didn't put it in the right way, but every word Dorinda said, I agreed with.
Dorinda was certainly passionate, and Vicki, she admitted she was an anti-vaxxer. This was nothing really new if anyone's paying attention to the blogs and the podcasts. Right. But I mean, her daughter's a nurse. I imagine her daughter got vaccinated. I don't know, but I'm imagining. And I know her son said online that he did. So I don't know who his family members are that she claims didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah, Vicki has issues with all of her children. Well, especially Ryan, right?
Oh, the
Brianna's
son-in-law?
son.
The
So
son-in-law?
yeah, the son-in-law.
Yeah.
That's him, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
I don't know. I mean, I was like, where are we going with this? I was not ready for the vaccine talk this
Oh
early
God.
in the
Me
series.
neither.
I really could have used this halfway through, and
Mhm.
it really escalated. I didn't find it really entertaining. I don't find
No.
anti-vaxxers entertaining.
No.
So it was really like a turnoff, I think, for everybody.
I'm not sure if I'm happy or upset that Brandi was in bed.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
imagine.
know. I don't know.
Dorinda claims she knows someone that passed, a friend of hers. Now, because Vicki has to one up her that she knows someone that passed away from the vaccine. Like, that's very dangerous rhetoric all around. Like, it's not like she can't prove it. It's
No.
just, it's
And
up
she's
for
like, I want a
interpretation.
death certificate. Oh
Oh
God.
my
No, that
God.
was for episode 2. And again, a lot of us, like people like you and me, are watching these back to back because we need this. And so this is,
We need this.
I'm excited. And then I'm hit with this.
Yep.
It did bring down the room. And by the room, I
Oh,
mean me on my couch. It brought me down.
yeah. I didn't love it. However, Dorinda slurring about unicorns kind of saved it a little bit. At least
Yeah, no, that was
it went back to the absurd. She had to get up and go back into the house just to make herself another drink that she doesn't need, only to come back out with the finger
talking to
pointing.
herself, making a drink.
Uh,
Meanwhile, Tamra has never sounded more even keeled and normal.
Tamara's in a position where she's just like, she doesn't agree with Vicki on everything, but what do you do in this case? Because Vicki's just so like backwards in this moment.
Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway, what else happened in here? Dorinda, she doesn't want statements like this in her house, and then Vicki claims that she would never argue like this with someone in her own house. So, do you think that it's an uneven playing field that this show takes place in Dorinda's orbit on Dorinda's property?
Well, that's a really good question. And I'm going to say no, because she doesn't seem to be able to enforce any of the rules that she has set out. Like the shoes upstairs or eating in the bed. Like we've all broken the rules. So, she doesn't really, she's making it as nice as she can, but she's not setting a precedent for anything.
No, I feel like she's playing hostess, which works, but it's not in a matronly way where she's like telling people where to sit and what to do and all that. So
She made plaques and she did put them in the room.
Okay.
She's not, but by the way, you got to enforce the plaques, like
Right.
Rules are only rules if they're enforced. So,
Right.
I don't
She's
know.
definitely taken this whole thing to another level with making like the moniker for Bluestone Manor and all this stuff. Like it's a little excessive.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little unequal, but we'll see how it plays out.
Being in anyone else's home, automatically makes it on some level unequal. But again, like, Brandi's eating in bed, and in the testimonial, Dorinda's saying how horrible that is, but she's not saying it to her face. So I don't know which Dorinda to believe.
Brandi's sleeping in a full face of makeup.
Right.
I mean, who didn't see that coming? You think she's going to take it off?
No way.
It's now day 2, and Dorinda may think she's running the show over here, but she's got this guy Marco who's really doing the work.
Poor Marco.
Yeah, he's escorting these nail ladies. I don't know what is the correct title for these people.
Manicurists.
The manicurists. Pedicurists. Yes, that's the correct term. Thank you. He's escorting them to the backyard, and he's telling them, there are 7 of them, and then he says, and I'm sure they really need it. Like, and he like laughs, like you can tell he's annoyed. You can tell, like, oh yeah, I'm the one on my feet here at like the crack of dawn, working with production, working in this woman's house to satisfy this woman's every need. And they're the ones that really need it. I felt for this guy in that moment because I could sense the sarcasm. That would be me. And like, oh yeah, they really need they really need the pedicures and the relaxation. I'm sweating over here.
Right. Oh, poor Marco. He needs therapy definitely after this.
After this, yes. So they cut to a Housewives After Dark, and like there are so many stupid little things in this, which I appreciate a good segment. I always did.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
I love this classic Vicki and Tamara just like wandering around the house, like poking around. Like I laughed. I loved that moment.
They were being really cute.
I was really into it. And then what else happened here? there's already tons of drama to recap. It's like those typical Housewives trips where they get up from their hangovers and they have to go into each other's beds and, talk about what happened the night before. So here we go. The morning after. Vicki is done with Brandi. Brandi is done with Vicki. Taylor is kind of done with Brandi. And Brandi thinks that it's all a party and that's like, she doesn't care what happens. She's just there for a good time.
He quote unquote blacked out.
Yeah.
Which doesn't.
So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And I just love it. I just love that Brandi literally just doesn't care.
Does not care.
And they all care so much about Brandi.
One thing from the clam bake that we didn't address.
Oh, yes.
How horny Dorinda is for Phaedra.
Yes.
What is happening?
I know. I like the dynamics because you don't know how it's going to mix. You don't know, and now we're seeing these personalities kind of repel or, come together.
I do think Phaedra is magnetic.
Yes.
I
think she's lovely. I mean, she's such an interesting person with all of her businesses. She's just quite the vernacular and how she explains things. Which
She's
I find
a mortician.
Fascinating. Yes.
She really does it all. And then when she said, well, I'm at your gorgeous mansion, I guess put your fingers in my mouth. I just, again, another one-liner.
Yes. I love how she makes explanations and very simple things that someone could say, and that the way she puts the words together. She's such a wordsmith. I just really enjoy it. Yes, I need more of that. It inspires me to think of ways to say things more creatively. So then this idea of this chill pill comes out, which is this was tacky too, Dorinda. No one's going to wear these necklaces. None of these girls are going to put that on, but she gives them up. And Vicki claims she doesn't need one.
Okay.
I think
cool
she's okay. Yeah, I think she's the most. And then Brandi claims that she's not drinking all day. She goes, I'm not drinking all day, but I'm going to start at night. So okay, so for the next 6 hours, you're not going to drink?
I'll get messed up later and say some bad things.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Exactly. That was such a cop-out. She makes it sound like, oh, I know I was bad and I'm sorry. She apologizes the whole time. I'm not going to drink all day until 4:00 this afternoon.
And when does the drinking begin? That's my question, because does it start at night? Is that 6 p.m.? Is that who's to say?
So another apology to Taylor. Okay. These are just worthless apologies at this point. And then the pedicures begin.
Oh my God.
Andy finally, I know it's a lot of different folks, but they gave Jill her moment of the entrance, the music, that pull up the driveway, the two heels on the stones, and there walks in Jill.
Hi.
And that was about it. Nobody got Jill's entrance. Nobody. It didn't have the same magic. Now, what gave me the most excitement was the flashback of her arriving in St. Bart's from the past. That scene with all the women and their expressions, that gave me the energy I needed.
That gave me a boost. But a whimper. Yeah. And again, Phaedra, I know her from somewhere. Who is this woman? Where do I know this woman from? Phaedra.
I know.
I loved it.
Didn't she ask, do you have anyone else coming?
Who said it? She said, I thought mimosas were coming, but it's this lady. Oh, God.
The whole entrance was so awkward because none of the women really cared. And she was trying to recreate this thing, showing the back of her T-shirt. And I'm Jill, it's too much. It doesn't work.
Brandi is being the Greek chorus. Brandi at this moment is being all of us and saying, no one understands what's happening right now. Yeah. She's trying to recreate it. And no one does it. Everyone is just just as they were in St. Bart's, what the hell is happening? And why is she here?
And why is Jill's boyfriend there?
Why is Jill's boyfriend there?
He's in her shadow behind her. He's not even in the shot until they zoom out. And it's
is he
this guy's still here? No, I think he was just there drop her off and then take the dog.
With that, she was tongue kissing. Oh God, the way that Jill handles animals is.
How do these women find these men that are right there? Did you get there? Okay, I'm gonna walk you in. I'm gonna make sure you're all set, and I'll watch your dog.
Leave me alone.
I can't get a text back. Anyway, what else happened? Jill would rather be in Turks, already shading Bluestone Manor. It's beautiful, but why do we have to be here? Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's
Right.
where we're at. And then she takes over. Amazon delivers, they can do 24 hours. We can bring in this. I can bring in that. I know people in the city. We can do this if we want to get this done. It was like,
Very
whoa.
good.
It was a lot at once, Jill. And I love the fading. They faded between all the Jill chatter. And I was kind of looking at Dorinda where I was like, you have now just like relinquished your hostess title to Jill Zarin, whether you like it or not.
That's why what I'm saying with the power dynamic, she doesn't have, as long as Jill Zarin's there. Jill, you know what I thought immediately while she was talking about the delivery and the this and the, can you imagine if Jill Zarin was your mom?
No. Too much.
And by the way, Alli seems like a lovely girl. And
I know a few Jill Zarin types, but.
Oh, sure. I'm from Long Island, right?
Yeah.
I do too.
But
she is just what a headache every day. I can't even imagine it.
She went upstairs to change and then had to come back down. That's something I would do though. I'd be like, I'm missing out. I need to go back down. But Jill was not going to miss out on a second of camera time. She waited almost 10 years to get in front of these cameras again. So.
Oh, she couldn't wait.
Yep. This is a big deal.
But she held off for Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. And so she did that, and then she went right on back.
Did you know Dorinda was on the show? Did you know she was in season 4? Did you see that in the clip? I played the clip. I'm like, okay, yeah, we all know. Yeah, so that was Jill telling everyone that she is responsible for the success of Dorinda Medley. That's what that is all about. Yeah, and she'd probably say the same thing about Bethany if she was given the opportunity.
Yep.
So.
Did you see it recently on Instagram? There was a picture of the two of them together.
Oh.
So
Bethany must have white knuckled it. She must have been
she must have taken a chill pill.
Okay. This picture and I'm gonna leave. So a Real Housewives trope enters the picture: the sound bath. We've seen this. I enjoy a sound bath. I discovered this long ago. You're not into it.
I've never taken a sound bath. I hate watching a sound bath so much. Maybe I would like a sound bath. Maybe I would like one. I don't know. I don't like to watch one.
There's nothing to see. Yeah. No. I mean, I will say they're very powerful. Just think in the terms of vibrations, beautiful sounds, vibrations. If the instructor knows their stuff really well, it can really be a very immersive experience. And if you do some breath work with it, it's actually very therapeutic. There are a lot of values to it. Now, this is just surface. This is totally surface level with this. So, I thought Tamara would be into this. Tamara seems a little more holistic to me. She's more about body.
She's got cut fitness.
Yeah. And the CBD. And so I said, she might just kind of go for the ride with this. Not into it. One housewife I knew would not be into this, Vicki. I knew it.
She doesn't like anything though.
No.
If she doesn't have a glass of tequila in her hand, she doesn't want to do it.
I said, this is going to be a waste of time for her. I know it. And I noticed they didn't cut to her right away. And then they cut to her in the interview. She'd rather be doing emails, taking phone calls. She actually gets up and leaves. I knew that this would not work for her. She called it a waste of time. And I was like, this is how I know I've been watching these shows too long.
Because you're on the same wavelength as these women. You know them. You know them well.
I can predict the behavior.
Of course.
And it's not always good behavior. She should have stayed. I mean, that was even though I don't know, this could have been editing, but they cut to the instructor and he looked up when she got up. It's rude. I mean, hang out, just do it. But she doesn't know how to meditate. Yes, you can sit there and go through your bills and go through, your emails, but there's a practice of meditation where you let all that go.
You're not a child, you're an adult, and you can sit there for 5 minutes. Yeah. It's really, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to have a problem with Vicki this whole time. I know it. I'm going to have a real problem with her. And I didn't even say that before with all the vax stuff, but beyond, from day one, from moment one.
Well, you're in the majority because most people cannot stand Vicki. They don't want her on this trip. They don't like the behavior. I'm in the minority where, except for the vax stuff, I get a kick out of goofing on her because she just doesn't want to do this.
I don't not want her on this trip. I want her. I think part of the fun of all of these shows is really disliking somebody.
Yeah, and she's giving it to them.
She is.
So I kind of appreciate the fact that there's someone that's not into it.
Right.
She's just not playing the game. And team too much over here, Dorinda, now having to give everyone ice cream. Even Phaedra was like, I'm not usually on a schedule like this when I go on vacation, but I don't need ice cream like that. Like, it was a lot. I don't know. And the ice cream thing didn't even really.
It barely made a dent.
Yeah, well, it was an empty moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened? Classic Vicki with I said that before with like not being interested in anything. She's upstairs on the phone. She actually was listening to a Biden clip on YouTube on her phone. Have you heard it? But it was his voice. When Tamara opened the door, I'm like, what is she watching? Probably some Fox News situation.
Oh, probably. Oh.
But yeah, anyway, Vicki has a little bit of a breakdown-ish, I guess. For her, it was an ish.
Yeah.
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 It's all about Steve. Do we care about Steve? Why does she care about Steve?
Well, exactly. And they haven't been together. He was living at her house in Mexico. There's just a lot not said. Dorinda's trying to get it out of her. She's sad. She just went through a breakup. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I don't want to hear about it.
I know it's a downer. And like, we know that like,
downer.
it's not like they had this whirlwind romance. Like, I don't think anyone was really rooting for Vicki and Steve. Like,
no.
I mean, we were so invested in Dawn and Vicki. Like, that was a moment. Like, this is not a moment. I don't know what to tell you. Vicki's star really waned that last season. Nobody cared about the engagement party. She had to buy her own ring. Like, it just wasn't a good relationship. I think most people will be happy to see that someone got out of or got dumped from a bad situation.
And that's not to take away from her pain, which I'm sure she's feeling. And a breakup is so hard. But I'm here to have fun, Vic. Like, I'm here. Yeah. Don't bring me down.
Yeah. I don't want to be alone. I mean, that resonates with a lot of people. Like, I get it. But like,
we're at Bluestone Manor now, and it's time to be on TV.
Yeah. After that scene, there was actually a really good scene that I enjoyed with Eva and Taylor. And they bond over, going through a domestic situation. And they have a really honest, frank discussion, which was like one of the realest moments I've seen in reality TV in a while. Two women talking about going through a bad experience and relating to each other. And I feel like Eva was really there for Taylor in that moment. I mean, Taylor started to cry. It was all like right on the surface.
Right.
And it's just understandable, So even they didn't expect to go through that moment together. And again, this is why this show is so jam-packed. This is like a day 2 scene. Like
we're 18 hours in.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I will say it's very entertaining. Now, but this scene was entertaining in the way that it was so real and that it was, raw, and it was a good discussion to have. And
I love their relationship, that they just met and they've like bonded so quickly. Yeah.
I'm really happy that Taylor had the opportunity to explain herself. Like, she got to explain why she didn't get her daughter out of that situation. This is a real opportunity to cover it.
When she was talking about Kennedy in the car when she was 5, and why would you miss a boy that screams at you all the time? Oh, God. That's just beyond. I can't even imagine. And that's why.
I imagine that's her memory of her father.
I assume. Yeah. And that's why Brandi making it about her is all the more painful, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I imagine this was maybe a lot for Taylor, because picking up where she left off was not really that great, and now she's in such a better place, which I really do believe. It looks like she's like in a really great marriage. So now to have to like kind of pick up where you left off and revisit all that and discuss that, like, I'm not saying it's too soon, but it could be. But it's also like, it's just straight up painful, Of
course. Again, it's re-traumatizing. That's what I'm concerned about for her. I really am.
That's a good point. Re-traumatizing. Good point.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, I loved that scene. And then we went back to, which I felt was like a classic Roni moment, where then they go to this Venford Hall. They all have to put on dresses.
Gosh.
And it's like, okay, what is this now? I did kind of get some like last season of Roni vibes, where like they would go to like these places like by themselves because everything was closed. Like, ugh. But this is where the Morgan letters are kept. Is that
That's
true?
Where the Morgan letters were kept. And they brought us right back there, and you don't touch the Morgan letters.
Nope. Classic.
But
It did make me miss Sonia because I would love to see what Sonia would do opposite Brandi on this trip.
that's terrifying. They would somebody would break something, a bone or some other such thing.
Can Sonia come by like maybe like the last day?
I would love that.
Can we just have like a quick drop in real quick? Like she doesn't have a beef with any of these ladies, but I just know like just give her a full bottle
Oh,
tequila,
yeah.
Milagro, something good, and let her go.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Well, she's doing her show all over the country. She's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, she's too busy. She's booked and busy.
Oh yeah.
So now Jill is dressed, according to Phaedra, another great line, like Strawberry Shortcake, the revival.
I agree. And that was another time I laughed out loud.
Me too. And she's absolutely right. I don't know what this 1986 look was that Jill was pulling off here, but all the other women, like Brandi's in a skin tight snakeskin mini dress, and then you've got Jill.
But then Dorinda, what was that?
Like a flapper outfit.
It was like a silver flapper outfit. She was having fun in it, and I do like to watch that. I like to see someone dancing around in their outfit.
That's the difference. She was having fun. They had her dancing, and they cut to Vicki like in this Gucci dress, like standing there. Like Vicki was like not interested at all. She's still on West Coast time. There's a meeting in 10 minutes. Like where does she have to be?
It's Spirit Night, which is, by the way, I don't like a sound bath, but I like to watch Spirit Night. I like to see all of like the creepy stuff.
Now, did Jill not participate in this because she didn't want to drink coffee?
She held her nose and drank a little bit, but maybe she just didn't have a good reading.
Because we didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Brandi thinks that the chef is a lesbian. And this comes back later. She's already drinking like a fish. Like every time they cut to her, I love there's a shady edit. They cut to all the women drinking the coffee and they cut to Brandi and she's throwing back a glass of wine.
Oh, yeah. No, she's wasted. And she says such stupid things that this was something that ignited what came to pass later was pretty dumb, right? Like she said something stupid to, he was the waiter that, are you married? Is your wife a lesbian? That's my wife. We just got married.
Little eyebrows.
It was, that was funny. And Phaedra loved that.
Oh my God. Yeah, this was typical what we were saying in the first episode, Brandi just being a straight up fool.
Yes.
I mean, I thought it was very entertaining. I wouldn't go around doing that. But
no.
It's mortifying if you're in the room, but on TV, it's like, well, there's Brandi.
But now, and Eva seems to like Brandi, but she was right. Vicki had it out for Brandi from the moment she walked in the house. She didn't want to know from her. She thought she was disgusting. Like you said before, she's saying to Phaedra, she had it out for her. And so any little thing would have set her off, I think.
You mean Vicki?
Yeah, Vicki.
Yeah. Well, Vicki, with this whole coffee reader situation, again, not on board with this either. Not on board with this either. When they left the table, she said, I'm a believer in the Lord. I'm like, okay. Vicki. I mean, you can still have a good time. You can still just kind of go with the flow and say, this is what we're doing. Dorinda set this up for us. I want to go for it.
It's a coffee reading. Like, it doesn't mean you believe in Folgers. It just means like you believe, it's fun. Right. It's like tea leaves.
I mean, haven't we seen this on these housewives before? They've all had their cards read, their palms read, the handwriting read.
Dubois was reading everyone to filth. One of the best episodes of Housewives ever.
Exactly.
No, we need this type of thing. We need the spooky and the silly.
Yeah, Vicki is starting to lose me here, though, because I'm like, okay, we can't hate everything. This is a friend of Dorinda's. It's, you're on a television show. They're not asking you to do manual labor. Just get your friggin' coffee read and let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not, sacrificing a goat. Like, it's fine.
Right. I still want to go back to this situation with the lesbian comment. I laughed out loud when they had that moments earlier and her asking, like, because she asked in such an earnest way. Like, she genuinely was, convinced.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just as a certain special kind.
There's a special kind. And when
meaning Brandi, not lesbians, Brandi.
Sure. Well, but when Tamara said, who knows? When Tamara said, well, because she's a part-time lesbian, Tamara, why do you care? Why does everyone care?
I mean, Tamara's, we've watched her naked making out with women on the show before, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, we've also saw
cares?
Brandi naked in a pool kissing that awful housewife Carlton. Remember that one? So, I mean, there's not a lot of blue sky between Tamara and Brandi.
No. And also, like, who are you to judge? And by the way, again, she's drunk. She said something stupid. And I just don't think it was as horrible as her talking about how Russell affected her. Like, I just don't, I don't know why. Also, the chef didn't seem to care. And her husband didn't seem to care. They were just like, these women are stupid.
I know. Brandi, I wrote, she just doesn't know how to act.
No.
She just doesn't know.
She, in the first
That's
episode,
a ridiculous, it's not an excuse. I mean, she should, but like, she doesn't know how to act. And like, she needs to ask somebody.
History has taught us. And in the first episode, she was talking to her adorable little son, Jake, who looks just like her ex-husband, about, what was she talking about? The Hulk having a penis.
Yeah.
Like, this is who we're dealing with. We're not dealing with Albert Einstein. We're dealing with a silly little dum-dum. I'm so sorry.
Even he had to ask her, can you not throw
stop?
like wine like in people's
Don't
faces
throw wine and
Yeah.
stop, Mom.
I would love to know like what he really makes of his mother. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just like, I would love to know. I mean, she has put it all out there.
Yeah, that must be hard. As a kid, can you? I can't.
I guess you just embrace it, because if you were embarrassed by it, like you wouldn't leave the house. Like you just have to be like, "Yep, that's my mom."
Yeah.
What else do you say?
I don't know. I don't know.
So what else? Brandi wants to ask some questions as a viewer of the show. Now this went nowhere,
right?
But I was very intrigued. I was like, "Can we please like some producer like earmark that? Like, let's get back to that, because I'm very curious what her questions are going to be."
Yeah. Well, she, like I said before, she was giving us, she kept being like, oh, this is from this is from that. She's a Bravo historian, just like the rest of us. And I think that's part of the reason why she's fun to watch, is because she knows what's fun to watch, because she watches the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Me too.
I like it. What else was I going to say about that? Yeah. Tamara said, well, like, Brandi, like, you just believe everything that's in the press. And then she tells her to shut the F up. And Tamara did not take this very well. I was wondering how this reaction would go. Taylor tells Brandi, you haven't changed at all. You're the same person you were 10 years ago. And like, that's an insult. No one wants to hear that. You know what I mean?
Especially for Brandi.
Oh, true. So Phaedra and Eva, they're really there for Brandi. They take her outside. Like, I don't know. Of course, like, Brandi's ready to go to the strip club. And they're like, she's like, these bitches, leave them alone. We're going to the strip club. And like, actually want to talk to you about that. And she's like, you want to go out? And like, no, like, you can't call them bitches.
Yeah, I don't know. Brandi, I can't bring myself to be so angry with her for anything, because again, this is just who she is.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous and absurd, which I enjoy, because like Brandi, like, is there a strip club in the Berkshires?
I feel
would
like there's
imagine
strip clubs everywhere.
I don't know, the way that the shots they showed of the town, it seemed like this little quiet storybook New England town.
There's areas of every town, I think.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
There's always a dive bar. Who knows? You know,
exactly.
Anything can happen.
Right.
So what else happened? They do, meaning Phaedra and Eva, point out that no one's really giving Brandi a break. Like, she's the target. She's the one that they're going after. And if you think about it, like, you know, Taylor, Vicki, Tamara, they're kind of all like shoveling everything in her way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I wrote down lesbian eyebrows. We still don't know what that is.
I don't understand.
We'll never know.
Oh, but the pointing meme?
Oh, yes. Yes. That's what happens next. Brandi tells Taylor again to shut the F up when she comes to the table, and it really kicks off. And Taylor just rides this wave of like, she's like going in on Brandi. And Brandi's just like so amused by this. Again, she's like a fan watching this happen in real time.
I wrote that she's the biggest fan. And she said, all I could think about was the pointing meme. And she was, I thought of that before she said it. Every time she would say something that I was like, oh, you know what that's like? Or, oh, they're referring to this time. She already knew. She watches the show.
Brilliant. I love that they were able to bring that into the show, because it's such, I mean, that meme is like world known. I mean, like, to find a way to bring that in and to cut from her yelling at her, it was just so great, because it really wasn't even about that fight in that
Right.
moment. It was literally just about how absurd this is, which I love.
It was what Jill Zarin wishes her entrance was.
Yes.
Jill set it up too
A
much.
moment.
This was, yes, this was real. And that is just how Taylor talks to people or yells at people.
Yes. And then they all get up from the table and then like they're cool. Like this is a roller coaster show. Taylor kind of like embraces and laughs with Brandi for a minute. Like, I don't know how they go from one thing to the next, but that's classic Roni. It's they'll have these things and then 10 minutes later they're throwing it back. Like it turned on a dime, but you got to love it.
The things that Ramona has said to people on Roni is so unforgiving. I would probably break down and cry if she said them to me. I would never speak to that person again. The fact that they're all just friends, it's, I love her. No, like when she was, I don't know why I'm talking about Roni right now, except that I love it. But when she was screaming at Bethany on the bridge about how she was going to screwed up her life. Ramona talking to Bethany. Like then they were friends again. Like these women are Teflon. Until they're not anymore, or until they're fired or paused from the show.
Right. New York is Teflon. I think someone like New Jersey, if you look at them the wrong way. I mean, not New Jersey, Beverly Hills. I think Beverly Hills, if you look at them the wrong way or there's talk about a rumor, they're like dead to you or something. I mean, that's very minute drama for me on that show.
Oh, yeah. They have nothing else.
Yeah, they have nothing else. But New York, I mean, you can, Bethany called Luann, you F everybody. You're a slut.
And they showed it in the episode, last episode.
Yeah. And then they're outside sharing a cigarette or something. I mean, it's like the magic of Bluestone Manor. It just kind of
is magic.
You hit reset and then these people make the same damn comments and mistakes and then they apologize and then you hit reset again. It's just like that roller coaster. You got to love it.
And did you find Bluestone Manor spooky?
Not so much, but I did love that moment where Vicki thought that chandelier with the drip all over it was spooky. That was odd. That was a design choice.
I don't find it spooky, but I do find it very full, very maximalist.
Yes, I would not want to be in that house alone at night. I don't need all that square footage. Too many ways to get in.
I agree.
No.
Yeah.
Let's get into our final thoughts.
Okay.
I'll let you go first.
Oh God, so much happened in this episode. Again, chock full. They didn't waste any time. The only times I wasn't having a great time was, well, first, of course, anti-vax stuff, sound bath, and the ice cream. But everything other than that, so for those reasons, I give it a B+, but and a little too long, just a little too much yelling.
Yes, a little too long. How many times are we going to listen to Brandi tell people to shut the F up? Like, it was a little repetitive with that. But if you're a Brandi fan, this is the show to watch because it's all about Brandi. And like the OC, it was all about Vicki in the end because she was just so freaking controversial. And so, like, Vicki, love her, hate her, there's a lot of going around her that creates drama. Brandi is another great example of that.
Right.
So, I mean, they deliver.
What about you?
Mine is definitely this moment. Did you catch this? Brandi is in that like attic thing that they're doing, like the confessionals, like live confessionals. Yeah. Very odd. She's there in a not well bitch sweatshirt. And I'm just wondering, did Dorinda give these to the women in the basket?
Can I tell you, that's exactly what I thought. Because by the way, there was a mug that said clip, clip, clip. She's trying to do something with the chill pill. Like, she's all about the merch.
Dorinda, it's too much. You're not, you're branding Bluestone Manor. You're branding clip, clip, clip. I mean, it's a little much, but I give Brandi credit for putting it on because I don't think Vicki's going to put that on. It's almost like advertising or somebody else. It's kind of presumptuous.
Right. Well, Vicki wore that horrible Chanel top that just looked like it was ironed on. I don't know. Don't get me started on Chanel. I can't.
Yeah, there were some fashion choices. Not all good. But, I shout out to Phaedra who looks slamming at that dinner at the coffee reading.
She's beautiful. Every single shot of her, she looks gorgeous.
She came prepared. She knew the assignment. She prepared for the assignment. she executed it.
And we saw, I missed her. And yes, she is so problematic, but she's hilarious.
Great for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll do it for another episode of the Roni Rundown. Oh, God.
My God.
The RHUGT, the most horrible of them all. The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Let's keep it classy. Rundown. I can't. Let's see what happens next. There are no previews on this. There's a streaming service. There's no next week, right?
Right. Oh, I was waiting for it too, and it did not pop up.
Anything can happen. I mean,
Ooh.
So we'll see how it goes. But I have to prepare myself for more Jill. That's the only thing I'm not necessarily prepared for is all of that talking.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having
listening
me
to the show. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out next week when we do the next episode. Thank you guys.
This has been Grant's Rant Small Talk. Want more? Join the full conversation on Grant's Rant Hollywood Talk podcast.